Hello.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. The court will call the matter of the state of Michigan versus Devin Wilson, 20S00645.
Stephanie Cannon with the Public Defender's Office with and on behalf of Ms. Wilson, who is appearing by Zoom. Ms. Wilson, could you please state your name for the record?
My name is full name, full middle, first and middle and last.
That's fine.
Devin Jeanette Wilson.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. You're here today to be arraigned on a bench warrant that was issued for you, ma'am, back on March 10th, 2021. You had been arraigned before the Magistrate Nelson at the time on February 9th, 2021, and told to show up on March 4th. You failed to appear. I gave a show cause adjournment to March 11th, for which you failed to appear again. So you did not appear on two separate occasions. And so a bench warrant issued in the amount of $7,500, 10%. What would you like to say on behalf of your client?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is very apologetic for not making it to court. She has a substance abuse issue along with some mental health issue. At around that time, things were very serious for her in that realm. Since then, she did complete a year of inpatient treatment at Naomi's Nest, and she's doing much better with her sobriety. She is not a danger to society. She has no abusive behavior. And her family, since her treatment has surrounded her and she is, her community ties are much stronger. And she has assured me, and she's going to assure the court, that if she is released on PR bond, she will return to the next court date, Your Honor.
Did the client get picked up?
Yes, Your Honor.
How did she get picked up?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. Miss Wilson, could you tell the court how you were picked up?
Yes. So I was stopped. I was out in Wayne County hanging out with a friend. I had crossed the railroad tracks, during traffic. I had got picked up, and I had no warrants or anything like that except for here. So they called here and asked if you guys wanted to have me extradited? Is that the word? Like over to here? And you guys wanted me, so I got picked up then, and now I have been here over the weekend, which I've had the weekend to thank and everything. And like I said, I am very apologetic for not showing up. If I could be completely honest, ma'am.
Miss Wilson, at this time, I'm just going to advise that you not say anything in addition to the court outside of apologizing for not appearing.
Yeah.
Here she has a holdout of Dearborn.
Yes, Your Honor, I did discuss that with her. And that hold is monetary in nature. It's my understanding she has some fees that she has to pay out there, according to my client.
All right, this particular case is assaultive in nature, and she has a history of failing to appear. Does she have a place that she can go to reside?
I do.
Yes, Your Honor. She lives either with her mother or father. She tends to go between the two.
But which one can she be tethered to?
Miss Wilson, is there a home you can be tethered to?
Yes, it'd be out in Wayne County though.
That's fine. What's the address?
I don't know the address by heart. I'd have to call and get. I'm back and forth between my mom and my dad. But if I'm going to be tethered, it's going to have to be to my friend's house, because I don't believe my mom or my dad's going to let me be tethered there, ma'am. But I can assure you that I will be at this court date, like after doing a year of sobriety.
You assured us that at the first time too, ma'am. I'm not willing to do that without a tether.
Your Honor, if you would be willing to release her back to inpatient treatment, I don't believe my client would have an issue with that.
All right. Defendant may be released to inpatient treatment.
Or tethered.
It doesn't work that way, ma'am. I don't get to do and ors.
So I'm here until inpatient treatment is open then?
Or until your next court date when you can provide us with an address to which you can be tethered.
Can I speak to my mom about being tethered there?
I can move it to Wednesday, Tuesday. Yeah. Days or your Tuesdays. I used one day for a couple things because your other days are kind of full. But this next Monday looks like I'm under. All right. I'll put it over for 1 week.
So can I go to Naomi's Nest?
They'll take you, ma'am. If that's an inpatient. Is that an
It's
inpatient
an
treatment?
inpatient treatment in Highland Park and they always have openings.
Yes, if you can get them to take you back there, that's fine.
So I can go there today.
I don't know when they're gonna allow you to be released, ma'am. I will allow the release. That's up to the jail and whoever's gonna transport you. April 22nd, 2024 at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Anna.
Can we speak at privately?
Me and you?
Yeah.
I can attempt to make it over to the jail this afternoon to talk with you.
So, but Naomi's Nest can take me like right now.
You'll be in touch with an agent. You can let the agent know, but I will come by and see you after court. I'll come see you after court. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
If I talk to my father and he says I can be tethered there, is that still a possibility? Because I'd have to call and ask him, I can't just say, hey, I'm tethered.
Yes, the court is, if you can't get an inpatient, the court is willing to tether you, but they won't be hearing that until next week
So I'm stuck here until next week.
or till inpatient treatment, yes.
But Naomi's Nest can take me 2 days, so can I go to inpatient today?
It depends on how quickly they can arrange it.
Like all I have to do is call and they'll say, yeah, I can come.
It still has to be arranged through the jail. Everything just has to be arranged. You may be there for 24, 48 hours, but if you can get in, they'll get you in.
I also have one more question. Like, I don't even remember what this case was about. Like, so what did I
Ma'am, you need to have the next person come. Okay.
You need to knock on the door. I'll come see you after court. Thank you, Your Honor.
And then 23-00776. We're here for sentencing.
That is correct, ma'am. What is the court's pleasure as to, let's go first.
I think we need to figure out what we're doing about this bond violation first.
That would be on me.
I'm sorry, I have two. I have the the sentencing would technically have three. But I have the bond violation with the police report from March 9th. I have a community corrections bond violation report that just came in last Thursday.
Yes. I have both of those as well. Do you have all of that, Mr. Bernstein?
Yes, Your Honor. Although I'm not sure I've had the opportunity to share with Mr. Caldwell, there's a secondary bond violation report that says it's about mistesting at community corrections.
All right. As to the second part of the violation, sir, it alleges that you had a positive THC test on March 1st and you missed tests on March 4th, 11th, 22nd, 28th, 2nd, and the 8th of March. Basically, you just stopped testing is what it looks like. You should talk to your attorney first, sir.
Microphones. Okay, Your Honor, we understand the situation.
All right. As far as the bond violation with respect to the police report on March 9th, 2024, where the allegation is that the complaining witness in this case, Alma Wiley, received a phone call from the defendant. She recognized the voice. He indicated he would do stuff to the house, but did not elaborate on what that stuff was, and or the potential text messaging. Where are we with that, please?
Stand up, Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell wishes to admit responsibility for that bond violation, Your Honor.
Mr. Caldwell, you're here today on that bond violation, which alleges that you called and made statements about doing stuff to the house of the victim in this case. You are entitled to have a hearing. We're here for that today. It's my understanding you're going to waive your right to have the hearing and proceed to admit responsibility for that violation. Is that true?
Yeah, no, like, could I say anything about that, or I just?
After you admit to the violation, if you want to give an explanation, you can do that if your attorney advises it.
We'll both give explanations, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. Is it true that you called her in violation of my order to have no contact? And did you say you would do stuff to her house? But you did call her. What is your client gonna do with respect to the violation for missing the test?
Well, it sounds like he needs to get some money together and test. I don't think there's any other way around it.
So he's gonna admit to violating.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I believe so.
Sir, do you also acknowledge that you missed tests from March 4th to April 8th?
Yes, ma'am. And
Alright.
if I could say anything.
You will in just one moment. All right, I find that there's a factual basis for both of these and that it has been willingly and knowingly made for the police. Are you satisfied, Mr. Bernstein?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. McDuffie?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now what is your explanation, sir?
So as far as like the contact with her, like she had been calling my friends and stuff, like trying to contact me, trying to get me to like get like a contact with her and stuff. And I kept telling her like I didn't want to be around or none of that, like because all of this that's going on, like I don't want to keep going to jail, especially, and I'm not like putting my hands on her and stuff. She making it seem like I am. And like I just told her that, and she like made like she kept threatening me, talking about she was gonna call the police and all of this other stuff if I didn't talk to her and all this other extra stuff. I guess that's what she did. I ended up blocking her because she called me off of random numbers and stuff. And then when I finally answered, she had got to talk. She basically got to trying to argue and stuff. So I kept hanging up, and then she started calling my friend, texting my friend, asking my friend where I was and all this other stuff. And that's how that whole little situation became out to be. I never threatened the girl or any of that. Like I literally been trying to, like, as far as the situation with the with me not reporting to job, I reported the first time, and when I went there, I told her like I didn't know how I was going to be able to pay to drop, and I asked her if there would be any like I asked her if it would be any like way I could set up a payment plan or something to be able to, you know, still be able to come drop so I wouldn't get in trouble. And she told me like even if I came and dropped and didn't have the money, that I wouldn't be able to drop for that day or whatever day it was. And as far as like the whole situation with like as far as the whole situation with her, like she had, like I said, she had been calling and stuff. Like honestly, all honesty, I really been trying to stay out the way and do what I have to do, basically to deal with this situation at hand and to move forward. And like I said, I just now got a job, so you feel me? Like as far as like me dealing with the like the community corrections thing. Like that was my only problem in the first place. I didn't have a job when I came home, and I had been looking for a job for the longest. Like every job that I went to, they didn't even want to give me a job because like they kept saying that they seen certain stuff on my record as far as like I have a fleeting and looting on my record or whatever, and they kept pulling that up and telling me, well, yeah, we basically saying that they don't want to hire me because of that situation. So it was hard for me to find a job, and I did find a job. I'm actually not working at Popeyes. I've been working there for about a few weeks now, and I had this conversation with my lawyer like a few weeks ago, and I told him about this, like what was going on with my financial situation and everything. Cause like,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Caldwell. Thank you. Anything further from you, Mr. Bernstein?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. Caldwell, right now through this case he's on a path of learning, Your Honor. He's learning how he needs to grow as a person, how he needs to handle real life responsibilities, and what he needs to do moving forward. He acknowledges contact that's in violation of the court order and understands that there's really no, whatever the situation may be, whether there's back and forth, it really doesn't matter, is what we've talked about. It needs to, there can't be any contact whatsoever. And I think in speaking with him, and I spoke with someone in his family who was counseling him the same thing as well, like it can't happen. He's learning that, taking responsibility and moving forward and trying to kind of take his own path away from things that are getting him in trouble is what he needs to do. I think he's kind of shown some insight to me today, and I think him taking responsibility has helped him kind of understand what he needs to do moving forward, not only in this case, but in life, to not get in trouble. It seems like he's trying to be a better person. He's describing getting a job after a lot of difficulties, not getting a job. So he is really trying his best to improve, Your Honor, and he's hoping that the court might allow him another chance to show his value and his worth and earn the consideration of the court to let him keep progressing in how he's doing.
Thank you. What about the pretrial? What do you plan to do today on that?
I think it's something that I probably should reach out to Ms. McDuffie and work towards a resolution. Kind of what we wish to do today.
You asking for an adjournment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, as far as the sentencing is concerned, I prefer that we do these all at the same time. But Ms. McDuffie, what would you like to say about any of this?
Well, Your Honor, I appreciate that from Mr. Bernstein. Before I can discuss a potential resolution with Mr. Bernstein where we could have a sentencing agreement to remain compliant with his sentence in this other case, which I think may involve, if there were an agreement to something, an additional class directly related to DV. My concerns in this underlying R&O case and with all of Mr. Caldwell's cases is that the domestic violence with this particular victim is basically at the root. It's the underlying issue for this attempt R&O case as well. And so that needs to be addressed. Well, I'll just leave it at that. So I do appreciate that the court wants to see him sentenced for everything all at once. But any offer from me would be essentially an agreement to whatever he gets here, plus any additional programming that's tailored to DV added to that.
So I take it you want to have some time to talk to your client and discuss that with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I think this has been kind of an overwhelming day for him so far, so it'd be hard to wrap up a resolution as well today. I think it might just be kind of overload.
Is marijuana or alcohol involved in the underlying DV case? Or the R&O for that matter?
Your Honor, I can't, it's not a circumstance where I can really tell that he did not appear to be like visibly intoxicated for the attempt R&O, but that situation was so chaotic, I don't know that that would have been obvious unless he was falling down. I don't see anything that jumps out at me. The history, which is my biggest concern about Mr. Caldwell, he has way too much history to be the age that he is, but I don't see anything directly relating to substances. It's difficult to know. I would, and here's what I would ask. I need to go back and look at some things just to be sure of this, because my first interaction with Mr. Caldwell was in 2020 when or 2021 or so, back in Third Circuit Court, with the case with some very serious charges. I need to make sure that I have the full history, before I kind of write it off and say, I don't think it's an issue. And then obviously him getting one test and not showing up again when there's a big span of missed tests. I think that we want to know that this is not an issue. I do see that it was just CAC the first time. So I'll leave it to the court. But I do plan to go back and just verify that there are not any concerns in his overall history.
Are you available on April 29th via Zoom, Mr. Bernstein?
I can make it work, Your Honor, yes.
April 29th, 2024 at 9 a.m. via Zoom.
Maybe like a couple minutes late.
That's
Okay.
probably not gonna be a problem. You know how court works here.
Just fair warning.
Thank you. I'll adjourn both matters until then. So in the meantime, you do need to go back and test again, okay?